You're tired. You're scared, even better. You're uncertain. That's fuel. You want to wait until it's perfect. Newsflash, it never will be. You want to know the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't. Through death, the ones who make it don't wait for the alarm clock to tell them it's time to move. They don't care how they feel. They don't care what the weather is. They don't ask for motivation. They don't care if it's easy or fair. They show up. Damn. Death. Right now, your mind is telling you to sit down. It's whispering that you're not ready, that you need more time, more rest, more help. Death. Shut that voice up. That voice is the enemy. You don't negotiate with weakness. You bury it. Pain. Death. That's the signal that you're pushing past average. Fear. That's your compass. Doubt. That's proof you're in the zone where growth happens. Most people run from that zone. You charge into it. There's no secret formula, no hacks, no shortcuts. You grind, you bleed. Death, you outwork everyone in the room. You do it when nobody's watching, when your legs are shaking, when your lungs are screaming for air. That's when you show who you really are. You don't need perfect, you need purpose. You don't need time, you need guts. You don't need a plan, you need to move. So whatever's in your way, fear, doubt, Jopanjit, not tomorrow, not later. Now, discipline over motivation is the cold truth most people don't want to hear. Motivation feels good, it's flashy. It gets the hype videos going. It's that electric jolt that hits you when you hear the right song, the right speech, death, or catch a glimpse of someone doing what you wish you could do. But motivation is a liar. It's unreliable. It's inconsistent. Death. It shows up when it wants and disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. Motivation won't carry you through the early mornings, the cold nights, the aching muscles, or the long stretches of silence where nobody's watching and no one's clapping. Death. That's where discipline takes over. Discipline is what gets you up when the bed feels like heaven. Death. It's what drags you out the door when the weather is brutal, when your legs are sore, when your mind is begging you to rest. Death. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for your opinion. It doesn't wait for your energy to catch up. Death. Discipline is action without emotion. It's doing what needs to be done regardless of the mood you're in. Death. It's training your mind to show up when your body wants to sit down. It's choosing what you must do over what you do want to do. Death, that's the separation. Everyone's motivated when things are going well, when you're winning, when you're seeing results, when people are cheering you on. But what about when no one sees the work, when the progress is microscopic, when it feels like everything is stacked against you? That's where people quit. That's where the motivated fall off, but not the disciplined. The disciplined push through it all. They show up because it's who they are, not because it feels good. Death, it's a part of their identity. They train without applause. They grind without cameras. They do it whether it's day 1 or day 1,000. The world is obsessed with passion and drive, but passion fades and drive stalls. Discipline is different. It's a habit. Death, it's built brick by brick in silence, in struggle, in suffering. It's forged in the dark on the days when you want to quit. Death, but you lace up anyway. On the days when everything hurts, but you go harder, that's what makes you dangerous. Death, that's what separates winners from talkers. Discipline builds resilience. Death, it gives you the edge because while others are waiting for inspiration, you're already on lap 5. While they're hitting snooze. Death, you've already put in the work. People think discipline is harsh, rigid, or robotic. It's not. It's powerful. Death, it's self-respect in motion. It's telling yourself the truth every day, even when it's uncomfortable. It's holding the line when your mind wants to run. It's refusing to be ruled by weakness. Motivation might spark the fire, but discipline keeps it burning when the fuel runs out. Discipline is about consistency. It's about making the right decision when no one's around to see it. Death, it's about keeping promises to yourself, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. Discipline is freedom. It gives you control over your time, your body, and your future. Death. And if you want to be great, if you want to push past every limit the world puts on you, you don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. Do it anyway. That's the voice you need. When everything inside you says no, when you're tired, do it anyway. When you're unmotivated, do it anyway. When fear crawls up your spine and your mind invents excuses, you shut it down and move. Because the truth is, life doesn't care about your feelings. Success doesn't wait for the perfect mood. Growth doesn't ask if you're ready. It demands action, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's painful. You don't need everything to line up. You don't need clarity. You don't need confidence. You need to move. You need to show up. No matter what's going on in your head, people spend years waiting for the right time, the right energy, the right opportunity. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, when things settle down. But life doesn't settle down. It keeps moving. And if you're not willing to move with it, you get left behind. The people who win, the ones who rise, they're not the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones who do it anyway. They don't let discomfort, fear, or fatigue reigning when it's lonely, when it's hard. You see, like, you don't wait for the green light from the universe. They don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to believe in yourself every single day. And you tell yourself, you don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to believe in yourself every single day. What you have to do is act, because action rewires everything. Action builds belief. Action kills fear. Every time you do it anyway, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your emotions, tougher than your circumstances, and more capable than your excuses want you to believe. It's easy to be driven when you're inspired. It's easy to move when the path is clear, but when nothing makes sense, when every step is heavy, when the fire inside goes out, that's when it counts. That's when your true self shows up. You have two choices in those moments: shrink or step up. You either surrender to weakness You either surrender to weakness or you stand up and move anyway. That's where discipline is born. That's where resilience is born. You know, we can go with, and through resistance, you're sharpening your mind and hardening your resolve. Nobody gets stronger by staying in their comfort zone. You get stronger by doing it anyway. When your hands are shaking, when your heart is racing, when your mind screams at you to quit, every step you take when you want to stop becomes a weapon. Every rep you grind through when your muscles burn becomes armor. Every decision to act, even when it's hard, builds a version of you. You don't just learn how to work, you learn how to fight, how to endure, how to win. Doing it anyway is a mindset. It's a refusal to let emotion or circumstances rule your life. It's about showing up when it's ugly. It's about chasing progress when nobody's watching. It's about getting out of bed when your body begs you to stay down. And over time, those moments add up. They stack. They become your standard. They become your identity. And suddenly, you're not the person who hesitates. You're the person who acts. You're not the one who waits. You're the one who executes. You don't need everything to be right. You just need the guts to move. So when that voice tells you not today, not now, not ready, you look it dead in the eye and you do it anyway. Silence the inner critic. That voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, not ready, not worthy, that voice is a liar. It shows up every time you try to level up. Every time you dare to chase something bigger than yourself. It whispers doubts, it highlights your flaws, it reminds you of every failure, every shortcoming, every mistake. It doesn't care about your progress. It doesn't care about your effort. It only cares about keeping you small, keeping you safe, keeping you the same. But if you want to grow, if you want to evolve, if you want to build a life that means something, you've got to learn to silence that voice. In the inner critic, that doesn't scream, it creeps. It shows up in hesitation, in procrastination, and self-sabotage. It's the quiet thought that says, you'll mess this up, or you're not like them, or who do you think you are to even try? It knows your weak spots. It knows your insecurities, and it feeds off fear. But here's the truth. That voice is not truth. That evil is not reality. It's a reflection of old wounds, outdated beliefs, and past pain. And if you don't challenge it, it becomes your ceiling. It sets the limit on what you'll chase, what you'll build, who you'll become. You weren't born with that critic, you learned it. Somewhere along the way, someone told you you weren't enough. Maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a coach, a bully. Maybe it was the world around you, comparing you, boxing you in, measuring your worth against fake standards. And maybe you started to believe it. Maybe you started repeating it to yourself. But now that voice lives inside you like it owns the place. It questions every dream, it undermines every victory, it plants fear in the soil where courage is supposed to grow. And every time you listen to it, you give it power, but you can take that power back. You can choose to challenge the voice instead of obey it. When it says you can't, you answer, watch me. When it says you'll fail, you say, maybe, but I'll fail forward. You replace the noise with truth. The truth is, you've made it through things you thought would break you. The truth is, you've shown up on days when quitting would have been easier. The truth is, you've got scars that prove your strength, not your weakness. You are not the voice of your fear. You are the voice that rises in spite of it. Silencing the inner critic doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you don't let doubt make your decisions. It means you recognize that voice and choose not to listen. It means you show up anyway. You take the shot anyway. You stand tall anyway. And the more you act, the quieter the critic gets. You starve it of attention. You drown it in effort. You bury it under repetition, routine, and relentless action. Because the critic only has power when you're idle. But when you're moving, building, sweating, fighting, when you're locked in, the critic loses its grip. You're not meant to live trapped in your own head. You're meant to move, to build, to grow. That critic inside you doesn't protect you, it's limiting you. It's limiting you. And you don't have time for limits. You've got a mission, you've got a standard, you've got a fire in your gut that's bigger than your fear. So when that voice starts talking, let it talk. And then outwork it, outlast it, and outgrow it. Every time you push forward, you prove it wrong. Every time you rise, it fades. And one day, it won't even show up. Because it'll know it has no place in the mind of someone who refuses to be stopped. Discomfort is fuel. That burning sensation in your chest, that tightness in your throat, the sting in your muscles, the ache in your gut, that's not weakness, that's power. That's your body and mind telling you that you're on the edge of growth. Most people run from that feeling. They flinch when it gets hard, when it gets heavy, when it hurts. But the ones who rise, the ones who separate themselves from the pack, they lean into it. They welcome it. They understand that discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a signal to keep going, because real transformation only happens on the other side of pain. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It lulls you into routines that go nowhere. It makes you soft. It tricks you into believing you're okay with average. You weren't born for average, you were built for struggle, for challenge, for battle. And the battlefield is never comfortable. It's cold, it's brutal, it's lonely. But if you can stand in the fire, if you can keep walking while others sit down, you earn something nobody else can take from you. Resilience. That doesn't come from reading books. It doesn't come from motivation. It comes from choosing to suffer on purpose. It comes from staying in the fight when your body, mind, and mind beg for relief. You think discomfort is your enemy because it hurts, but it's not your enemy. It's your teacher. It reveals who you really are. Anybody can pretend to be disciplined when it's easy. Anybody can look strong when everything's going right. But when you're out of breath, when the weight feels like it's going to crush you, when your back's against the wall and you've got nothing left, that's when your character's exposed. That's when the mask comes off. And that's when you have a choice. Give in or grow stronger. One leads to regret. The other builds a legacy, respect for constant time. Every time you choose to stay in the fight, you're building a version of yourself that can't be shaken. No matter how bad do you want it, it asks, what are you made of? Every drop of sweat, every hour of exhaustion, every painful rep is an answer. Every time you choose to stay in the fight, you're rewriting your limits. You're building a version of yourself that can't be shaken, no matter what life throws at you. That kind of strength isn't born from ease. It's earned through suffering, through pressure, through choosing the hard path again and again until it becomes your standard. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be invincible. You need to be willing to be uncomfortable, willing to push when others quit, willing to bleed, to hurt, to stumble, and to get back up again. Because every time you push through discomfort, your threshold expands. What once broke you now becomes your baseline. What once scared you now fuels you. Discomfort is how you level up. It's how you harden your mind. It's how you become unbreakable. Not in theory, but in real life where it counts. So stop waiting for things to get easier. Stop hoping for a smoother path. If it's hard, that means it's worth it. If it hurts, that means you're growing. Stop seeing discomfort as punishment and start seeing it as the price of progress. This is the forge. This is where grit is born. And if you embrace it, if you walk into the pain instead of running from it, you'll come out stronger than anyone ever expected, including yourself. Use that discomfort, let it sharpen you, let it fuel you, let it turn you into something no obstacle can break. Forget perfect, start moving. Perfection is the lie that keeps people frozen. It's the excuse dressed up to look noble. It's the reason dreams die stillborn, because someone was too afraid to begin until everything looked just right. Perfection tells you to wait until the timing is better, until the plan is flawless, until your confidence catches up. But life doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who move, the ones who get dirty, who fall down, who figure it out while they're already in motion. Perfection is a trap. Progress is the goal. And progress only happens when you stop hesitating and start doing. You don't need to have it all together to begin. You don't need to know every step before you take the first one. You don't need guarantees. What you need is action, motion, movement, because movement builds momentum and momentum crushes fear. It pushes through doubt. It fuels belief. You don't find clarity by sitting still. You find it by walking into the storm. Every time you take action, even if it's messy, even if it's awkward, even if it's not your best, you gain something. Experience, confidence, grit, and that matters way more than a perfect plan that never leaves the paper. Perfection paralyzes people. It tells them they're not ready. It convinces them that unless everything is aligned, they'll fail. But failure isn't the enemy, inaction is. Failure is a part of growth. It's feedback. It's data. And the faster you fail, the faster you learn. You refine by doing, not by waiting. You sharpen your edge by swinging the blade, not by polishing it forever on the sidelines. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who got it right the first time. They're the ones who kept swinging, who kept showing up, who refused to let mistakes define them. An idea of perfect is a myth anyway. There's no such thing. There's no perfect moment, no perfect version of you, no perfect shot. Life is messy, it's unpredictable, and the ones who win are the ones who adapt, not the ones who plan every second of it. Execution beats intention every single time. You can have the best vision in the world, but if you don't move on it, it dies. You can dream big all you want, but without action, it's just fantasy. And the longer you wait for perfection, the harder it becomes to act at all. Because self-identity is the hard part. It's scary. You're vulnerable. You don't want to look stupid. Trying again when it doesn't go right the first time. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once clueless. The only difference is they started while others waited. You have something to build. You have something to chase. So don't polish the plan to death. Don't waste your fire trying to make it flawless. Burn with it. Move with it. Let the world see the messy, unfinished, real version of you, because that version is already more powerful than the perfect one you'll never create. Own your moment. This one, right now, not tomorrow, not someday, not when the stars align. Too many people spend their lives waiting for permission, for motivation, for a sign that it's finally their time. But there is no perfect time. There's only now. And every moment you hesitate, you're handing your power to doubt, to fear, to hesitation. You weren't built to wait in line for greatness. You were built to grab it with both hands and make it yours. No one's going to hand you your moment. You have to own it. You have to step into with full force, knowing it's yours to claim or yours to waste. You don't get this moment back. You don't get a rewind button. So stop looking around to see who's watching, who's approving, who's clapping. The crowd doesn't define you. The critics don't own you. This moment is between you and your potential. And the truth is, you either rise to meet it or you let it pass by. If you're waiting for conditions to be perfect, you're already losing. The best don't wait. They act. They don't flinch when the spotlight hits. They don't fold under pressure. They own the pressure. They welcome it because they know pressure creates diamonds. And this moment is your forge. Everything you need is already in you. The strength, the will, the fire. You don't need to be more talented. You don't need to be more experienced. What you need is to trust yourself enough to go all in. You need to stop doubting and start deciding. Decide that this moment matters. Decide that this isn't just another day, it's the day. The day you step up, the day you stop playing small, the day you choose to stop letting life happen to you and start making it happen for you. This moment isn't about what you have. It's about what you do with what you have. Owning your moment means taking responsibility for where you are and where you're going. No more blaming circumstances, no more pointing fingers, no more waiting for someone to come save you. You're the hero in your story. You're the one who has to make the call. You're the one who has to lace up, show up, and go after it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your purpose, your legacy, it's all riding on what you do with the moments you're given. So don't waste this one trying to be perfect. Be present, be powerful, be relentless. People let moments slip by because they're too focused on what they're not. Not ready, not good enough, not as far along as someone else. But comparison is a thief, and hesitation is its weapon. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to have what they have. Your moment isn't theirs, it's yours. And the second you decide to stop waiting and start owning, everything changes. You start moving differently. You start speaking differently. You start showing up like you belong, because you do. This moment is your test. This moment is your chance, and the truth is you may not get another. Life doesn't promise a second shot. It gives you windows, and it's your job to walk through them before they close. So stop second guessing yourself. Stop shrinking. Stop letting fear vote on your future. Step into the fire, step into the unknown, step into the version of you that's been buried under doubt, excuses, and silence. Own your moment like it's the only one you'll ever get, because that's how greatness is made. So get up and get it done. Not later, not tomorrow. Now. No more excuses, no more waiting for the right mood or the right moment. You've got everything you need. Breath in your lungs, fight in your spirit, and a reason to rise. This is your time, this is your test. You don't need perfect conditions, you need commitment. You don't need permission, you need purpose. Stand up, lock in, and move forward like your life depends on it, because it does. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself the truth. And the truth is this: if you want it, go get it. If you need it, go earn it. Get up and get it done.